Welcome to Pathways of Hope. My name is Sitaca and I'm here to share with you my reflection on the Gospel of today, taken from Luke chapter 9 verses 46 to 50. After reading today's Gospel, two words that form the title of a popular Jane Austen novel came to mind: pride and prejudice. In the first part of the reading, we find the apostles arguing as to who among them is the greatest. They were most likely puffed up with pride while reciting their achievements and credentials to each other, while at the same time putting the others down. Jesus puts a stop to their childish behavior by precisely taking a child who belonged to the lowest rung of society at that time, saying that being childlike, that is, being humble or considering oneself as the least, is what makes one great. Jesus turns the normal human tendency to want to be considered better than others on its head by telling his disciples that greatness is considering others better than oneself. St. Paul emphasized this in his letter to the Philippians chapter 2 verses 3 and 4, which state, "Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others." I struggle with this. Now, I do not openly argue with others and say I am better than them. Instead, in certain instances, I do not appreciate or give value to what others do. Rather than find good, I find fault. Rather than praise, I criticize. I sometimes think I could have done a better job on something or could have handled the situation better than someone else did. Another manifestation of my thinking myself better than others is when I avoid relating with certain types of people, those who share different religious or political beliefs, those whose lifestyle is different from mine, whose values do not conform to mine, many other reasons, some of them seemingly valid ones. Now, it's bad enough that I do not relate with them. I go the extra mile by putting them down in my thoughts and in my words. I exclude certain people from my life, and so I think I can say there are people I am prejudiced against. The apostles were similarly challenged. They stopped someone from casting out demons in Jesus' name because that person was not part of their circle. With this, we can say that disciples were not only struggling with pride, they were also struggling with prejudice, like most of us often are. Jesus told them not to stop the man because those who are not against them are actually for them. Jesus was in effect telling them to be inclusive, not exclusive, in terms of relating with others. I believe what Jesus is trying to teach us in this gospel is that we should be like children who do not take pride in their abilities because they know they have little. Children readily appreciate the giftedness of others and acknowledge their dependence on them. They know they need others to survive. We ought to be the same. We should never forget we are all parts of one body and we need to depend on each other, fulfill each other's functions for the body to work well. Jesus is also reminding us to be humble and to count others more significant than us, as children consider their parents and other adults more significant than themselves. We can outwardly express this disposition by being generous in our appreciation of others, in constantly acknowledging the good they do, and in expressing gratitude and affection in a way that encourages them to do even more good. Moreover, I believe Jesus is teaching us that just as he loved the least in society, the children, sinners, slaves, in the same way as he loved the best among them, like his apostles and his disciples, we should do the same. We need to open our hearts to all he brings to us, however different they may be from us and however challenging it may be to relate with them. Humility and love instead of pride and prejudice. Do you struggle with pride and prejudice? Ask the Lord for the grace of humility, kindness, and generosity, so you may be able to love as he does. If you were blessed by this reflection, please feel free to share it. Thank you and God bless you.